Didn't see you there. Isn't it funny? I was just thinking about you. You know what? We should do a cheers, shall we? Cheers to the new year. Cheers to 2023. New blessings. New blessings. Hey, what's up? What's going on? It's Victoria, the host of the Feel Your Feelings podcast. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. You already know the drill. So, in 2022, I challenged myself to read 2 new books every single month. And, to my credit, I did that. I really did. I made a goal within myself that I wanted to read more. And every single month I would take my planner, which I have right here, and write down 2 books to read, whether they be new books or books that I just have sitting around at the house. And I did that. So 12 times 2, 24. I read about 24 books in 2022. However, I'm not going to go over all 24 books. I'm just going to go over 6 for this video. And yeah, let's get into it. I have some of the physical copies. Other ones, I'll just link them somewhere right here where you can see them on the screen. All right, let's get it. This video is kind of messy, but that's just kind of how my brain works. But let's get into it. Okay, 5 minutes up. Cicely, Tyson, Just As I Am. Now, this is a book that I had laying around the house, so I did not have to go out and buy this book. I believe it's my mom's copy, but yeah, from the moment I heard that Miss Tyson was releasing an autobiography, I knew I wanted a copy. And it wasn't until after she passed that I had a chance to read it. So yeah, I read this last year. I read As I Am in October of 2022. This is a collection of her life. I'll show you some of the pictures at the beginning that I really loved. See, the foreword was also by Viola Davis, who I really think kind of mirrors her artistically. I love this picture of her. And a family photo of her parents. That's her brother, oldest brother, and her baby sister. It's their family. I really enjoyed her honesty, her authenticity, and her determination to stay true to who she was as an actress, as a black actress coming up in an industry back in like the 50s. She started off just working as a receptionist. She got tired of that job, started doing modeling and acting, and before you knew it, she was just reaching higher and higher heights. Thank you, Miss Tyson, for this book, because it taught me to not rush my life, and what's meant for me is meant for me. So yeah, I absolutely loved this book. The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. This is actually a signed copy of the 4 Agreements. I follow the author on Instagram, and in August of last year, he was doing a giveaway for the 25th anniversary of this book. So I got my signed copy, guys. Thank you, Mr. Ruiz. Awesome book, amazing read. And if you haven't heard about it by now, I highly recommend you check it out at a local library or make a purchase. It's a pretty small, short read, but the essence of this book is basically 4 agreements that you should live with in your life. It's not forcing you to live with these agreements, just highly like things that will help you navigate certain situations that you're struggling with in your life that have helped me personally. So the 4 agreements are, in no particular order, if you've already read this book, don't come for me. In no particular order, the 4 agreements are: number 1, don't make assumptions. Number 2, don't take anything personally. Number 3, be impeccable with your word. And number 4, always do your best. I really love always do your best and don't take anything personally. I'm a highly sensitive person, and I can sometimes adversely absorb criticism, not respond to it, but absorb it. And it's not always a good thing for me, but learning not to take things personally, but taking them constructively, and then going to God and being like, hey God, what you think about this? So and so said this, but what you think? So that, and also always do your best. I always try to do my best with this platform, with this podcast. It's not perfect. To me, it's still a work in progress, kind of messy, but everything is, right? Including myself. So I'm always trying to do my best to work with what I got. This is my sister's camera, her microphone, which is literally a Rode mic. Guys, don't judge. So, yeah, I absolutely adore this book. I love what Mr. Ruiz's sons are doing on for his legacy. You can go on his website, which I'll link down below, where they do these webinar sessions for people that follow the book and these agreements that they live by, and you can be constantly uplifted there. So you can't go wrong with this book. And yeah, limiting beliefs have to flee when they hear the 4 agreements. So yes, this is the author, by the way. So yes, definitely enjoyed this book. Okay, so I read book number 3 back in December of 2022, and I found it as an audiobook actually on YouTube. It's called Feeling is the Secret by Neville Goddard. And I listened to the entire audiobook. It was a super short read. Oh, let me put my timer on so I don't ramble. Feeling is a Secret. We'll link it somewhere right here. Great read. Beautiful writing that was easily understandable and digestible for me. I don't know about you guys, but when I hear like super long words like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, I get nervous. I'm like, I don't understand this. It was easy to read and to understand. My biggest takeaway from this book was that it is always better to say I am rather than I will. So at the beginning of this year, end of last year, I started writing my goals for 2023, and I was writing I will, I will, ... I will do this, I will go there, I will have this, I will be this. And basically what he was saying is that if you say I will, subconsciously it means that I don't want to. And I was like, really? That's really deep. So I decided he suggested to change I will to I am. I am is more powerful than I will because it's saying that I'm holding my house accountable. Okay? I'm holding me accountable. These goals are going to happen because I said so. So instead of saying I will do this or I will go there, it's like I am going there. I am doing this. I am. Okay, so definitely changed my mindset and shifted my perception around. And I highly recommend the book. You can find it on YouTube. We'll link all these books below, by the way. Next up, I believe this is book number 4. Number 4, we have Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. I read this book in March of 2022, and this book is amazing, absolutely incredible, and life-changing. Viktor Frankl was an Austrian Jewish psychiatrist, and I googled that, by the way. And he was a Holocaust survivor, so you can only imagine reading about his deepest, darkest, most insane experiences living in a place designed to kill you. Not just to kill you physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually, everything you can think of, right? He survived it, right? And you know why he survived it is because he kept his mind on greater things, on the other side. He thought himself out of the situation that he was in, and I found that to be so powerful. Please check out his life's work on logotherapy, which is a practice that, let me Google it so I'm not sounding crazy. Logotherapy was developed by neurologist and psychiatrist Viktor Frankl, and is based on the premise that the primary motivational force of an individual is to find a meaning in life. So yes, he used logotherapy, which he was practicing before he got into a concentration camp. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm rambling. Yes, very inspiring story, and it's not just for men, which I thought it was like a man's search for meaning, so it's only for guys. No, it's for anyone, human, female, whatever you identify as. You should definitely read this book. if you want to transform your thoughts and really like find gratitude in your own life for the things that you have or that you might be complaining about. Nothing gets as dark as that, in my opinion. Next up is The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra. This is the lovely book, tiny but mighty, and this book is equally as powerful, I think, as the 4 Agreements. The 4 Agreements was written in 1997. This one was 1994 or 1993. And yeah, let me read the first part right here. You are what your deep driving desire is. As your desire is, so is your will. As your will is, so is your deed. As your deed is, so is your destiny. Next up is The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra. This is the lovely book, tiny but mighty, and this book is equally as powerful, I think, as the 4 Agreements. The 4 Agreements was written in 1997. This one was 1994 or 1993. And yeah, let me read the first part right here. You are what your deep driving desire is. As your desire is, so is your will. As your will is, so is your deed. As your deed is, so is your destiny. So there's 7 laws in this book, right? And I'll let you know which one is my favorite after I read 7 laws. So number 1, the law of pure potentiality. Number 2, the law of giving. Number 3, the law of karma or cause and effect. Number 4, the law of least effort. Number 5, the law of intention and desire. Number 6, the law of detachment. Number 7, the law of dharma or purpose in life. Okay, so guess which one is my favorite? My favorite law, personally, is the law of detachment. And the author himself says that the 6th spiritual law of success is the law of detachment. The law of detachment says that in order to acquire anything in the physical universe, you have to relinquish your attachment to it. What does this mean? I'll tell you. This doesn't mean you give up the intention to create your desire. You don't give up the intention and you don't give up the desire. You give up your attachment to the result. I really love how this was phrased because I remember one time back in grad school when I was living in DC, I had seen an ad somewhere online that Oprah Winfrey was doing her 2020 vision tour. And I just remember my first thought was like, I want to go. I would love to go to that. She's not coming to Washington, D.C. because at the time I don't think D.C. was on her list, but New York was. And I was like, New York is like the closest proximity to DC and I would love to be there. In my mind, I was just like, I'm gonna find a way. I'm gonna find a way to do it, and I don't know how or whatever. And knowing that I didn't really have the money or anything to go, or didn't really know anyone in New York to go with me, so it was kind of discouraging, but I remember feeling that intention in my heart and I had just kind of let it go. And it wasn't even a conscious thing like, oh, I'm gonna let go and whatever. It was just like, we'll see. You know, whatever happens, happens. I kid you not. This was in like 2019. So come winter 2019, I see this opportunity on Instagram for Black Girl Digital, and they were giving away 1 ticket for a college student to come see Oprah Winfrey and Michelle Obama speak at her vision tour. And guess who applied? I did. Anyways, guys, long story short, I won that contest and I was flew on out to New York with the CEO of Black Girl Digital, and we enjoyed watching Oprah and Michelle Obama speak at her vision tour. And it was an incredible experience, and it just goes to show that when you let go of outcomes and not trying to push stuff on your own, that things start to happen for you. I actually have this fortune cookie, which I'll grab. Hold on. Okay, so I have this fortune cookie, which I can't tell you like how long I had it. But this fortune cookie that I have right here, see if you can read it. Can you read it? Okay, so this fortune cookie says the situation is changeable, yet you cannot push the river. You can't stop the inevitable from happening. And I think it goes to show that what's for you is for you. You know, it'll find you where it needs to find you, how it has to find you. You don't have to go knocking at its door, okay? Destiny knows where we are. Long story short. Can I get a drum roll, please, for book number 6? Okay, book number 6 was absolutely mind-boggling because of how real and authentic it was. And that book is The Magic of Thinking Big by David J. Schwartz. The only thing that is stopping me from having everything that I want, whether that be my dream house, my dream car, dream spouse, anything, is that that person is thinking bigger than I'm thinking, right? If I'm thinking in my limited bubble, like, well, I can only have this because that's in my budget, or I can only have this opportunity because that's in where I'm located, or, you know, it's the way we think that really separates us, not anything in your bank account or what clothes you have on. It's like your perspective. What I really appreciate about this book is the way the author talks about having enthusiasm for life. If you have enthusiasm about something, other people are too. So I wrote down his 3 steps to develop the power of enthusiasm. Number 1, dig into it deeper. Learn more about the thing I'm not enthusiastic about. Starting this podcast, I wasn't that enthusiastic about learning about marketing and outreach and putting my name and my face out there. In a perfect world, I would have someone else do all of that for me, but I had to be enthusiastic about, hey, like, it's me, and I'm the problem, so I'm gonna put myself out there and see what happens, and I'm gonna work for me, you know? Number 2, in everything I do, life it up. The way I talk to others, my approach, put enthusiasm behind what I say. And that's definitely something I'm also trying to work on, even when interviewing guests for my podcasts and talking to people, is to be really enthusiastic, because it's really a blessing getting to talk to people about their life experiences, because these are things that they don't have to share, but they decided to do that. 2 of my biggest takeaways from this book were these 2 questions. Number 1, what can I do to make myself more valuable today? And number 2, what can I do to add value to things, others, and myself? So these 2 questions really force me to think. The first one really forces me to look within and think, how can I make myself more valuable? As creators, we are our biggest investment, so we have to pour into ourselves, I think, before we can fill other people's cups up, so to speak. So really asking myself, like, how can I make myself more valuable? What can I do to increase brand awareness, increase my messaging, reach a wider audience, and do more outreach? Because again, marketing, working on the marketing aspect, right? And then what can I do to add value to things, others, and myself? With that second point, I think with this podcast, there's so many other platforms talking about mental health and Generation Z, and it kind of feels oversaturated sometimes. Like, there's too many people talking, like, all over the place. It's very noisy, right? And so I'm like in a headspace where I'm like, how can I make my voice cut through? Not make my voice the loudest, so to speak, because I don't always think the loudest voice is like is the right voice. But how can I make my voice cut through in a meaningful way that actually reaches somebody, and not just for the gibber gabber, right? So yeah, great book, great questions, great informative things to think about, and I really appreciate this book. Definitely check it out. Those are my 6 top reads of 2022. Definitely not all inclusive. I read some other great books, which I can do a part 2 on if you would like to see them. A lot of great audiobooks and ebooks as well. I would also love to do my favorite movies, podcasts, and YouTube channels that helped me during 2022, if you would like to see those. I'm also thinking of just posting if you follow me on Instagram, just posting like a chart of all of those things. So let me know which one you would like to see, a video or a chart. So yeah, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching this far. If you have, hope you took away something very valuable. If you've read any of these books, let me know what your thoughts are. Did you have any favorite books of 2022? What were they? I would love to compare and contrast and read some of your books as well. But yeah, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and don't forget to be a kind person. You feel me? All right, that's it. Take care, everyone. Bye. Is it bright in here, or is it just me?